Hello, I'm Bridget from Felt by Bridget. This year I thought I'd show you my newest additions to my vessel collection. These are felted vase covers. Now what these are tall thin vessels, basically with a tin inside, or if you prefer, a jam jar, or even you could cut down a glass, what do you call them, bottle, like this, and just pop one of those inside. Then when you've finished using the vase, you can just put that away in a drawer. You know, it hasn't got to be out all the time, doesn't take up much room, and it looks quite funky to have a textile vase. Now, I'm going to show you how I make these. It's easy, and we'll stop there. Well, here is my recipe for a vase. What we have here is grey merino, pink merino, some black merino. This is in bat form rather than roving, mainly because I've got quite a lot of it. And viscose flowers cut out from a scarf that I had. Now this is actually very fiddly to cut out until I realised that if I spray starched it and ironed it, it was just much easier to manipulate, to manoeuvre and cut out. So that one's cut out much more neatly than that one, which is all racky edges. Joys of starch and not starch. Anyway, let me just move these out of the way so we can get on. Now, on my work surface, I've spread out some bubble wrap. Not terribly eco, I know, these days, but in my defence, I will use this so many times. I'll probably get a year's worth of felting in it, so it gets fully used. Underneath this, I'm going to put a sheet of paper which is approximately the size of the piece of felt I'm going to start out. It's easier than fiddling about measuring, and I can actually see what I'm doing. So first thing I'm going to do is pull off some grey roving, and I like to split the roving lengthways, so I'm only working with a smaller amount. And first of all, I'm just going to lay this on my work, and I'm going side to side, or was it horizontally that way, isn't it? Horizontally, slightly overlapping the layers, and it's a little bit bigger than the template, but the template is a guideline rather than something rigid. So we're going great to that, and then on this layer, same thing. I'm going to pull a layer of pink off. Whoops, a daisy. And I'm going to layer that there's a bit of a fat layer at the top there. Just re-jiffle that. Now there are many ways that you can lay out. Everybody has different preference methods. Some people prefer putting their hand down and pulling like that. I don't, but everybody has their own method. How many layers you put on this and how much you overlap your wool by depends very much on what you're making and how thick you want it to be. But felt making is one of those things, a bit like when you're painting. Lots of thin layers give you a much finer quality felt, or a finer quality product, than one thick layer. So finer layers are the key. How much you overlap them, again, I tend to overlap the edges, but what you want is an even layer, like so. Layer 1, layer 2, we go in the opposite direction. Okay, so here we are back again, and here's my newly rinsed, I'll just remove bits of soap out of the way, my newly rinsed vase. And I just want to check this for size before I go to any more shrinkage. What I have is a bottle that I know is the right size for my vase. So what I'm going to do is, it's actually a bottle of PVA, but you know, it would just be, so what I want to do is just pull this, and you can see the bottom of that isn't quite right, but you can see the rest is in the zone. And what I'm doing is I am pulling this around the bottom of that, so I'm getting, yeah, I'm in the zone for the right shape. Now it's still a bit too tall, so I want to shrink this a bit more. So I'm going to use another magic tool. This is ribbed matting, ribbed rubber. Try saying that fast. Ribbed rubber matting, which is like an extra pair of hands when you're rolling. So what I'm going to do is, it just provides an extra bit of friction. What I'm going to do is I'm going to rub this. So I'm just rolling the felt up against itself on the matting, and I'm going to do the same thing but opposite direction. Okay, and I'm going to do it this way too. Now while felt is wet, it's still very manipulable, if that's a word, almost like clay. You can see here that I can pull what was that curve, I can pull that into shape. I'm just going to put that on here. Is this right? Yes, so you can see we've got a flat bottomed vase here. Yep. Okay, pull that out. But of course what we've got is a black vase. What I want is vase, which I don't look at just in case it hasn't worked. So I'm just going to shrink this a little bit more. And this is a little bit loose and wavy at the top, so I'm just going to focus on the top here a bit. Compare that to, yeah, that's about right, isn't it? So you see what I mean about different sizes? Yes, shorter than that one, bigger than that one. If I wanted them all the same size, I'd have to be a little bit more consistent about how much I put, how much I put on things. Anyway, let's push it the other way around. I'm going to put it in here so we can get the shape right. Bottom of that all tight done. There we go. And there we go. Ta-da! Look at that. That is a beaut. Oh, I'm really pleased with that. I'll pull that out. That is lovely. I don't know how well you can see that. The light's got a bit funny in here. What I'll do is I'll edit another photo in. If we can't see it, I may have to do this again. The light's gone bizarre. Anyway, ta-da!